Tonight on NOIR.
Uh-oh, that's how he got mud on his hat last time. I realized it wasn't for ball. Oh, that was
go.
It's okay to be confused in light tube calibers. I love myself. Who's...
There is nothing more dangerous than a person with nothing to lose. I can remember the incredible frustration and anger I had with myself as my then girlfriend's ex-boyfriend stood in front of me taunting me to give him a reason to throw the first punch. He largely had done nothing with his life and felt threatened by the fact that I was now dating what he had convinced himself was still his girlfriend. I vividly remember thinking, he has nothing to lose. I, on the other hand, was in law school and had plans to start my own practice and didn't want to do anything to jeopardize that. So I stood there, like a little punk, as he saw it, doing everything in my power to keep the situation from escalating, and walked away. Not because I didn't want to hurt him or that I couldn't. It's because I had a responsibility to myself to make sure I didn't do anything that would jeopardize my future in an attempt to assert my manhood to someone who would largely not be very impressed anyway. Now take that responsibility I felt that night and multiply it by 30. And that's the way I felt the first time I put that gun in my pants and walked out of the door as a newly licensed concealed handgun carrier. It doesn't hit you until you step into the world with 15 rounds, sandwiched between a pair of overpriced denim, covered by a cheap H&M t-shirt, that you realize that you are forever going to be held to a higher standard wherever you go. When you carry a gun, you're no longer normal. You're not only a potential savior, but you're also a potential liability. There's no room for complacency or recklessness. As long as you have something to lose, that gun owns you. It dictates what you do, how you do it, when you do it, and where. Guns are cool. They're sexy, they're fun, entertaining, empowering, and fascinating. But all of that takes a backseat to carrying and owning a gun responsibly. If you don't get that or understand it, then your ass shouldn't carry, much less own a gun.
You're a really big proponent for concealed carry for self-defense purposes.
Yes, I am.
Why?
Because it's one of those things where when you look at reality, because we're forced to live in reality,
yeah.
I know a lot of people try to run away from reality, but reality is reality. There's something about being able to have in your possession that it's such a minor inconvenience. It's nothing for me to wake up in the morning, grab my keys, grab my wallet, throw my gun on my hip and go about my day.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that wouldn't see it that way. I mean, okay, even people can be gun owners, right? And then the concealed part just not fit into their lifestyle.
Absolutely. Because
of what you're just talking about, the responsibility, the weight that comes with that. You know, I see it from, I personally don't have my concealed handgun license yet. I'm actually gonna be getting it because the more I've thought about this. So I had a gun for self-defense reasons in my home. I guess I just thought about it more being in my house because I didn't want to have to rely on the police officers. I didn't want to have to rely on anybody else if we're there by, you know, if I'm home by myself. But I don't know, maybe I've lived in a bubble and just never really thought a whole lot of it outside of my house. But, you know, being around you guys, it's not that I'm paranoid now. It's just you've made me more aware that, no, you need to take responsibility for your protection, whether you're inside your house or outside of it.
And you know what's funny about that? I carry a gun on me probably 80 to 90% of the time in my life. And for some people who aren't really into firearms or kind of anti-gun or just kind of like little squeamish, they're like, I'd be the first to tell you, the likelihood of me having to use that gun ever is probably slim to none. I haven't had to, I haven't ever had to draw it or pull it. I've been in situations where I almost had to, but it worked out.
Yeah, that's good.
So then the question becomes, why even bother then? If the chances and the percentages are so minor, why even bother? Well, because the 1% when it does happen, everything matters.
Yeah.
Now, that's not my personal quote. I can't remember where I got it from. It was either Travis Haley or Chris Costa, but they said it, and it resonated with me. And I always believed it, but you know, they say hindsight is everything, you know?
Sure.
And in hindsight, it clicked. I was like, yeah, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
Because that 1% is the most important. You go your entire life never encountering anything.
Yeah.
That 1% that you do, and you don't have what you need to take care of it, everything that happened before then means nothing.
I'm actually excited to get my CHL, and I'm really excited to go shopping for a gun. I know I tell you that I wouldn't really enjoy shopping, but I think as soon as I get my, license, I'm gonna be so excited to go and pick out my gun.
And you know what's funny about that? Some people look at you and be like, that's lunacy. Like you're a sociopath.
Why?
Because the thought of going out and buying a gun so that you can carry it on you everywhere you go, they're like, why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, like you said, in case you find yourself in a situation where blowing a whistle is not really going to help you a whole lot, you know?
Well, I think also what it stems from is, and I've noticed this, there's been this real subtle push for the vilification of self-defense. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you can defend yourself, but not too much. You know? Like, the idea of taking someone's life in order to defend yours is almost seen as taboo. Like, oh my God, like, I wouldn't be willing to kill anyone to protect your life, to protect your kid's life. Like, you know, and then you start going down the road and they start talking about, well, you're just paranoid.
Yeah.
It's not about paranoia.
Well,
it's about what happens in reality. And like I said before, for me, it's a small price to pay to just put a gun in my pants, go about my life, so that in the event I find myself in that 1% situation, I have something there that I can do about it, you know?
Well, cool. Well, just before we move on, I mean, I like that we brought this up. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to check out NRAsharp.com. It's a super blog that we were talking about a couple weeks ago. But Nikki Turpo, she's actually one of the NRA commentators for us. She is now doing a column online. She's going to be hitting on different things involving self-defense. And, you know, she had some really good things to say. So if you guys get a chance, check that out. And then also, both of us have some columns,
we write our columns as well on a weekly basis. Sometimes I will touch on a self-defense aspect of it. I like to incorporate a lot of things that happen in my life on a regular basis into what I write about. So sometimes it will touch that. Sometimes it will touch on more superficial things. Sometimes it touches on more serious things. It's multifaceted.
And I'm writing a little bit more on the fashion aspect, so I don't know if I'll ever be hitting on self-defense, but if that's what you're looking for, you guys can check that out on NRAsharp.com.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, we're back out here on a hot Dallas day at ETTS, and we are shooting our M&P 22s today. We're shooting 22s because we have Antonique with us, one of Colion's friends, and this is her second time at the range. The first time she went to the range, somebody stuck a 9mm and a 45 in her hands, and that's never the right thing to do, so we're gonna give her a good experience for a change. Hopefully she'll be able to talk about that in a little bit. We're gonna have this course of fire. We are gonna be shooting as singles this time, so we've been shooting as teams. It's still gonna be teams as total time for Colion and Amy, and then Antonique and myself will shoot together, and we'll be a collective time. So we're gonna start back here at about 40 yards, and we're gonna shoot those 4 pieces of steel once with a 22 round. We're gonna move laterally over here, shoot each of those poppers once. These things are probably not gonna fall at the 22 because it's just a light bullet with not a lot of energy behind it. We've been shooting some bigger calibers previously, and those things do fall. Plate rack's the same thing, probably not gonna fall over, but we want 1 hit on each of those. We're gonna come over here. We're gonna stop at this stick to mark our shooting spot. We're gonna shoot the popper once, and we're gonna shoot each of those bowling pins. Those bowling pins are gonna be tough because they take a precise hit from a 22 in order to knock over. I think we might be able to get more than 1 with 1 shot if we hit them right. So, we're gonna move over here, lastly, and we're gonna hit the plate racks here, and 1 shot each time, and then that's gonna be stopping the clock. We're gonna put the 2 times together for the teams, and that's gonna be the total time, and we're gonna see who wins. You guys ready for this?
Yes.
All right, like it. Colion.
Yeah.
Introduce Antonique, please.
World, Antonique, world.
Literally in this case, once you get on the internet.
Antonique is a good friend of mine. We both went to undergrad together. So let them know a little bit about what you do and a little bit of your awesomeness.
Well, my name is Antonique, and I am a personal trainer / fitness competitor.
Doesn't show at all.
No.
It does. You know, I used to consider myself a fitness competitor, like when I'm in front of the mirror, but I'm only competing against myself, and you kick my ass.
Have we not made it a prerequisite to have really good biceps
Evidently,
before you can come out and
Anthony,
show? No,
Jen,
don't compare.
I'm a little
some
scared.
kind of way. Like,
I'm starting to pinch
feel,
my stomach fat on a regular basis
like,
now.
Like you, I woke up this morning and looked in the mirror. I was like, yeah. Then I get out here and yeah.
Hey, you were in the gym on Saturday, by the way, so I'm going to
was.
give you credit for that. Saturday morning, actually. I texted him. He told me he was in the gym. So, Anthony, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
You've already shot the 22. You like it a lot better than the 9mm and 45 that you shot the previous day, right?
A lot better.
Whenever it was. How long ago was it that you shot?
2 months ago.
Okay, so pretty recent. So, guys, I just wanted to point one thing out. Trident Response is here for safety, and they did talk to me about one thing. I've been around guns for 35, 40 years, and I got a little lazy in my muzzle direction on the Magpul shotgun, that Mossberg shotgun. When it was over my shoulder, I wasn't really too aware of where that muzzle was pointing. I don't think I crossed anybody, but it was too easy too. So I'm glad they pointed that out. It really does show that we all can learn, and safety is first, and we can make mistakes. The idea is if you follow all the other rules of gun safety, no one's gonna get hurt. My finger wasn't on the trigger, the gun was unloaded. So just always be willing to listen to those criticisms and learn from them. It's really, really important. It's important for me. I'm hoping to be around guns for another 40 years and continue to do it safely. So you guys, safety first, fun second. We're gonna have both. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Yeah. Ready? Go.
She's on business. Those were center punches. That was awesome.
Look at the speedy legs.
Nice. Okay. She is not messing around right now. This is for real.
Yep. We played no.
Uh-oh.
We got you. We got you.
You need a magazine.
Yeah. Oh, duh.
Boom.
Thanks.
Yeah, and you even got pockets this time. Nice job on the reload.
Good reload.
Oh, two. Look at that. She tried to knock down that second one with that one. Nice shooting.
Absolutely, I did.
Yes. All right, finally got one to fall. Amy! Awesome!
Nice.
All right, you got my time, so you know what to beat.
Yep.
Are you ready?
Always.
And go!
Fastest trigger in the West.
Go, 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 go! Woohoo! Get it, get it!
Nice! Uh-oh, that's how he got mud on his hat last time. I realized it wasn't from a ball.
There
that
you
was
go! Oh, he's gonna smoke my time.
Oh!
Whoa!
Oh, this is where he's gonna have trouble. Oh, man. Oh! Was that full auto? Was that full auto?
Mag! Woohoo!
All
There you
right.
go! Holy cow, what's he at?
Oh!
Nice.
Dude,
What
that
he
was
at?
fast. Okay, I want you to count 3, 2, 1, go, because I need every second that I can get. So I just need a little 3, 2, 1, go on you.
3, 2, 1, go.
Look at him moving. Okay.
Nice.
That was nice.
All right. I want a do-over.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. All right, Lila.
Oh, gotta knock it down! Knock it down!
Oh, you little bastard.
All right. Woo!
All right.
So you're in a great stance right now. I'm going to say 3. And so we're going to count down, and on go, you start shooting. 3, 2, 1, go. Awesome, going safe. All right, let's go. Good job. That is what we need. I couldn't keep up with you, so off safe. Nice. Okay,
Nice.
muzzle down, run over. Good.
Doing
Plate
great.
rack. Awesome.
Oh my God.
Colion, that was like you.
Wow.
Good job. Okay, bowling pins. Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. Nice.
Oh, are we out?
Magazine! We came in for reinforcements. All right, so go ahead and pull it back. There you go. Good. All right, bowling pins. Good job. All right, muzzle down. Good. All right, clean this plate rack. Slow down. Boom, nice. Yes!
All right.
All right, so muzzle down. Good job. I got you. That was an awesome time. Give me some. Give me some. That was great. That was absolutely fantastic. Even with...
I can't breathe.
That was great.
I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of impressive.
So, Amy's a relatively new shooter. We've been talking about this a lot, like 3 or 4 months she's been shooting, and she's shooting great. Antonique, this is her second time at the range. Obviously, she looks like a natural athlete. She is a natural athlete. This is where appearances are not by any way, shape, form misleading. Give me some right there. What was that time? So I forgot to have your spare magazine because you don't have pockets because you're wearing tights as pants. Tights as pants.
God's gift, man.
Yes, that's right. So I did not have your spare magazine. That was on me, and fortunately, we got one to you pretty quickly. But what was her time taking off, let's say, 4 seconds for that magazine mishap?
Take off 4 seconds for that?
I think so.
All right, then 1 minute, 1 minute, 0.41.
1 minute, 0.41. So 1 minute,
Wait, did we take seconds off for my magazine, too?
I don't think we did.
I don't think we took seconds off for my magazine.
Well, all I know is that you guys beat us by a few seconds, but that was one awesome run.
Oh my gosh, that was so good.
Good job.
Yeah, very, very
that
good.
was my mistake on the magazine, and okay, that was the one I just took out of the gun. I was like, did I really have one in my back pocket? No, I didn't. So I think we need to make, I know, I am. I've always been. I'm too selfish. You know that. But, I mean, I think we might need to make that a staple course because that was too fun.
I think so.
Adrenaline's still going right now?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
When was the last time you felt adrenaline like that? I mean, anything recent, competitive activity or anything else?
Going
getting
on stage, right before going on stage.
Oh
Nice.
my gosh, I can't wait to hear more about that.
All right, let's do it. Let's go
Go.
talk about it, guys. Antonique, that was too good. All right, so Colion and Amy, you beat us again. I think it's 2-2, and it wasn't because of Antonique. I'm going to take responsibility because I like to take responsibility.
Well, see,
you got me by 4 seconds.
You got to think about something, though.
Yeah.
Within all of the times that we've done this, the
Right.
constant has always been you. So essentially, every time you've lost, it's been because, unfortunately, you.
It's good thinking.
Interesting.
You know?
Can I keep you around less? I would like to have you around less. Like, can we get him out of here? So, Amy, I mean, what did you think about I mean, it was excellent, obviously, but, you know, you sort of being a 3 or 4 month shooter now, Antonique being a second-time shooter.
Well, I'm just beginning to think, I mean, it seemed like it came very easy to me, but I'm starting to think maybe I'm not that special. I mean, like, everyone we're bringing out now is just, like, hitting every target, and I mean, they're doing a great job. It was so impressive.
Good instruction.
You did a great job. Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it's very good instruction. What did you think about the whole experience?
It was great. It was great. This scenery, it's everything out here. It's beautiful. And the shooting, I mean, it was awesome.
Did it meet your expectations?
It did. I didn't have great expectations coming out here. I didn't.
Please expound.
I mean,
Even after Colion talked it up?
I'm not a gun enthusiast.
Right.
But this
Hopefully
was
a budding gun enthusiast, maybe?
the sporting aspect of it. The athleticism.
Hey, you don't have to have it all. You don't have to have it all.
That is me. You know, that's amazing.
Right.
Now, will I go out and buy a gun?
Another couple of months being worked on.
Well, no, because if she does, I'm pretty sure somebody will be getting a phone call.
Yes, and I think she might know a couple people with lots of guns that she can borrow. But you will shoot again,
I don't know my guns.
I think I will go to another, shoot again, another range.
I mean, so you bring up an important point: outdoor shooting versus indoor shooting. Because I know your first experience. Talk a little bit about it.
It was indoor.
Yeah.
It was in a box.
Yep. Loud.
It was very loud.
Right.
I got hit by a shell from the other side of the box.
Yeah.
The pop back of the gun, I wasn't ready for that. It was a little too powerful for me.
So you shot a 9mm and a 45. I mean, this is a really important point. We have talked about it, but it's one of those things that really can't be talked about enough as far as I'm concerned, because people are still making the mistake. When you bring a new shooter to the range, put a 22 in their hands, whether it's a rifle or a handgun, but nothing bigger, because it's just going to lead to bad things almost every time.
It's the equivalent of, you don't take a first-time driver and put them in a Ferrari.
No,
you know, unless they're just really lucky. But at the same time, I mean, in all fairness, I mean, not everybody really understands that, because if I've been shooting for years and the first gun I shot was a 9, it's hard for me to conceptually understand that, wait a minute, okay, she's probably not going to like this, because I'm used to it at this point.
And it worked okay for you.
Yeah, you know, but it is imperative to point out the fact that if you're trying to get somebody to enjoy the experience, it's got to be progressive.
Yes.
It just has to be, because otherwise it's going to overwhelm them, and it's just going to leave a bad taste in someone's mouth. They may come back to it later on, but why have the detour?
Yeah, you don't need it.
I'm going to get her on that Daniel Defense rifle. She's going to love it.
Yes, that's true. So, huge fan of the Daniel Defense rifles. We all are, of course. But so
it's interesting to me. She fell in love with it.
Yes, well, right away, because she didn't miss any of the targets in our first course of fire.
Just so
but
much
so
fun.
so these Daniel Defense AR-15s, so it's the same look of the Smith & Wesson that we use today, except more powder, bigger bullets. So there's a little more recoil, a little more noise. So it's that progressive thing that Colion just talked about. But so if you if you shoot again, I hope it is an outdoor range. There's just something better about outdoor ranges if you can make it to an outdoor range. Now you mentioned
I'm not anti-indoor at all.
No, but it's just it's more difficult to have a really good
and there's just some things that you just can't deny.
Right.
Like it's going to be a better experience usually shooting outdoors, because you get with the concussion of the walls and everything that goes on in a tight
bouncing back.
So it makes it a little hard. Yeah,
I think we've gotten spoiled too with the dynamic movement that we've had out here with our shooting, and so it is very difficult for me to go back to an indoor range and just stand there.
Your standards have been set very high.
Yeah, they've been set very high, and so I feel very lucky.
Now, Antonique, if you were going to walk away with one thing after this experience, because I mean, I had the, I mean, you rode out here with me, and I actually got to see it, witness it firsthand, just kind of. You really took it in within its totality. Like you love the outdoors and the experience and everything that came into place. The gun was just a subset. But if you were to walk away from this with one thing, what could you take away from it?
I would say that, you know, you don't have to really look at the gun in such a negative light. You know, I'm a tree hugger.
She is.
You can be proud.
I'm like a flower child.
I'm the modern day flower child. Yes, I
With
am.
so many jokes within the last hour and a half. I can't.
He has. I've been called everything under the sun. But the sport of it, the sporting, you know, the
challenge.
The challenge. I love a challenge. I love being athletic. So out here running, shooting, aiming.
The adrenaline. The competition.
That was great.
Sorry to let you down.
That was great. I think I can speak for all of us when we just say that we love seeing new shooters come out here. I mean, that's been one of my favorite things with this entire segment.
It really is. I think it's becoming my favorite thing associated with shooting. Like, I love shooting. I said that just the other day when we were doing some shooting.
You get to re-experience the first time you shot.
You see the
Every single time
excitement, you see
you
the
watch somebody
thrill.
else do it.
And you see, so, I mean, you had that bad experience last time. I was absolutely dedicated. I know Colion was, Amy was, dedicated to know that you were going to have a much better experience this time, a positive one.
Right.
I love it.
And we hope that happens. So we do thank you so much for taking time
coming
out to come
Thanks
out
for being
with
my
us.
teammate.
I do want to, before we go, point out one thing also. It seems very kind of like quickly how, you know, it looks like we just throw people behind guns and say, hey, go run over there and start shooting at this. A lot of things happen off camera that you don't see because they're off camera. But for us, just safety and just handling the guns responsibly is of the utmost importance for us out here. And it's not that we're trying to tell everyone to just pick up a rifle and just go start running down hills and shooting. Right. But if you have the ability, please do it. But get further instruction, learn how to do it correctly, and then proceed from there. I think that's very vital and understand that from that perspective, because I think some people may get a little confused at exactly what we're trying to communicate here. And
that's true.
Good point. Good point for a change. I appreciate your perspective there.
We definitely want to say thank you again, ETTS, for letting us come out here. We love this place, so we'll see you guys soon. Thanks, Antonique.
Too fun.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You rocked it.
If you've been paying attention here on Noir, you probably noticed that we keep mentioning Trident Response Group, kind of like that friend of yours that's dating the model chick that none of you all have ever seen, so we're not really sure if she exists. But I assure you, Trident Response does exist, and we work with them quite a bit. They keep us safe on the range, and we do some work with them because they provide some really great training. I actually recently went out to Trident Response and took part in a munitions training course. And so what I want to go ahead and do is show you what happened there and let's take a look. All right, so I'm here with Clint Bruce from Trident Response, and Clint thought it would be an awesome idea to subject me to an immense amount of pain so I can show you guys, the viewers, basically what it would be like to find yourself in a home defense situation at my expense.
Well, this is when we begin to kind of leap from being a shooting enthusiast to actually accruing skills. You know, one of the things we always tell people.
I have no skills?
No, I'm not saying that. We'll find out. We'll see how you do. But there's a difference between being a shooting enthusiast and having the gun and going to the range and all the other stuff, and then really learning how to use the weapon as a tool to defend yourself and those you care about. So the Ready Lab, what you're about to go into, is a place where we just help expand your capacity to actually take care of yourself and those you care about.
Fair enough. And I know I like to really kind of go off the hinges about how I love the more recreational aspects of shooting, but this is actually a very vital and important part of it. So let's head over to Ready Lab and take a gander.
Sounds great. You can't maintain that vigilance that long, so we're going to wait out here a little bit, let them fatigue, kind of figure out, hey, they'll come in whenever they want to, because that's a more approximate scenario right there. So tell me what you saw. Tell me what you think happened.
Death. No. Basically, I woke up and I actually didn't realize we actually started.
Right.
So that was about as real as it could possibly get for me.
Right.
And I look up and I saw a guy standing in my room, and my first intention was to get the hell out of Dodge.
Right.
But I grabbed the gun, which I honestly believe was by accident. And as soon as I did that, all I remember seeing him, some other movement, and then just my first instinct was just find the first way to get out.
Perfect.
And once I finally found myself in a situation where I was between the two doorways, I knew there was more than one. So I was kind of thinking, okay, I'm not sure if they're going to charge me at this point, if they're just both going to come out shooting.
Right.
So I kind of positioned myself in between the two doorways so that I could try to deal with it to some extent. When that didn't happen, I was like, all right, I just need to get the hell out this house.
Right.
But then I was also worried about if I cross that door path, am I going to get shot? So I waited for a second and then tried to sprint through.
Right.
Once I realized I made it to the other side, I figured I had an advantage because I had my back to the wall.
Right.
Then at that point, I could kind of utilize some angles to see if they would come out. And at that point.
So when did you get engaged? Do you remember?
No.
Okay. So you just know you got engaged, so you started you started turning it and giving it back. So a couple things that are really good. One, when you came out, you said, I didn't hear the thing right away and I didn't respond right away. Well, you're never going to. You're never going to, because what we do is we typically explain away everything that we're hearing as that, well, it must be, because we don't want it to be someone in the room with us.
Yeah.
Second thing you did is you moved off the bed right away and began to figure out what was going on in the environment. And you did. You almost turned and walked out, but you remembered you had, your tool, your weapon there that you could, because you also know you didn't know what was beyond that.
Yeah.
And then what was really interesting is you came out in the hallway, your recall is actually really right on, other than once you got past that kind of no good answers hallway and you finally made a move, that's when the engagement came on. Your first shot, when you came back, was right there. So that was your first return fire shot. And so the reality is did you really have time to aim? Did you get up on the weapon? Did you slowly exhale and get up on the front sight post?
All I remember was I tried to engage him through the crack of the door.
Right.
And then when he realized I was shooting at him and he came around, all I remember seeing was the mask. So I just pointed and fired.
Right, so your body fought, not the gun. So it's, again, what we're saying is you kind of weaponize yourself when you have to. The weapon's just a tool, the gun's just a tool. Your second shot, your first shot was that's a fatal shot, and your second shot was right in the lower rib cage, right on the left-hand side. So you put two shots right on top of each other, and then as soon as he turned, you actually made a third shot. So you threw a nice 3-round burst. You weren't thinking about it that much. You ready to reload?
Am I?
Yeah, you're ready. I'm not in there. Have fun.
Well, yeah, this should be interesting.
Okay,
especially
good deal.
Now.
Good deal. Thanks. So 3 guys come in, mess with a room. 1 guy go back in the hallway. 1 guy penetrate into the bedroom, and let's see what he does from there. Cool? All right, ready on?
Done. I'm done.
God, that hurt.
What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna take it a little bit more to the far end of the human experience and let you experience what a sophisticated and dynamic scenario might
The
look
only
and
thing
feel
I'm
like.
hearing you say right now is we're gonna make sure you die this time.
It's yet to be played out. We don't know how that's gonna end, but
Okay,
we'll see.
fair enough. Let's do it.
All right.
Well, let's see what happens when they come in all tack style. This shouldn't be good.
Let's do a Simo, 3-man, one guy, one door, one guy, one door, hall boss, flood, winning as you see fit, and let's see how he does on this one. All right, ready to go.
I had to get Aaron back.
So we're here with Clint Bruce, former Special Operations Officer from Trident Response. How's it going, man?
It's going really well. You did great. I was really impressed. You know,
Thank you.
what was happening is, it was really interesting to watch how quickly you were absorbing and actually being able to move and correct. And that's one of the reasons you saw us is with each scenario, we actually ratcheted up the complexity because as your familiarity happened, your comfort was going, and that's when complacency creeps in. And when there's complexity, there's no complacency.
Yeah.
I do have a question for you. Okay, so you love to go shoot. I mean, you shoot a lot, and you actually have a really good aim. Is that as important to somebody who might not go out and practice as much, like actually being a good marksman when it comes to self-defense?
Shooting is a kind of a static exercise. Fighting, there's in Colion, it'd be interesting to see what you think. You weren't really aiming a whole lot.
I didn't see sights.
That's right.
I did not see sights. Everything was intuitive, instinctive. It was like threat, punch out, shoot. And another thing I noticed too is the only time I actually ran two hands on my gun was when I actually had a moment to sit down and aim while I was trying to shoot him through the little crack of the door.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's literally boom, 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 engage. I mean, you could see it in the
So
video.
that's more important, like getting familiar. If you're going to choose to have a firearm in your home, being familiar with how to use it. And
for me, instinctively, I just resorted back to my fundamentals that I'd learned about shooting.
That's right. One of the things we say is you don't rise to the occasion, you sink to the level of your training. And so nothing beats reps. Nothing beats reps at all. And that's why we built the Ready Lab the way we built it. So you can, you can't learn if you can't fail. And where do you learn to do the things you never want to fail at? And so that's why we built the Ready Lab. So you could come in and, try, fail, fix, try again with the time that you have.
Yep, absolutely.
what's some other things they can do to be ready? You talk about being ready a lot.
Yeah, ready is pretty much our favorite word because ready is what it is. It's a totally relative feeling. Your ready is different than your ready is different than my ready. And one of the ways, do your thinking when you can think so you can do your doing when you must do. And when you're doing, because you've already thought through things, you're making the bad guy think, which is painful. So push the bad math onto the bad guy.
Did you ever feel ready?
That's the thing. I think it's important to distinguish between the concept of being ready and I'm always ready.
Right.
You know,
because that's not sustainable. That's not realistic.
It's not realistic
You
at
wouldn't
all.
sleep at nighttime.
Which is odd to me in a lot of ways. You know, when some anti-gunners are like, "Oh, just paranoid, delusional, so just always ready for a fight." No, half the time I wake up in the morning, throw my gun on me, and go about my day. Yeah. It's just when the moment arises, I'm familiar with it, and I'm already ready to deal with it.
We call that the speed to ready. We're always trying to increase the speed to ready. And what I mean is, how fast can I go from normal to ready?
And that's interesting because afterwards when people were asking me like, what did you learn from it?
Yeah.
You know, and one of the things I said, I've become a little bit more comfortable with the chaos.
Right.
Meaning that the next time I see it, it wasn't the first time I've seen it. So now I will respond quicker instead of sitting in a zone of, oh my God.
And it's not that you're comfortable with chaos, it's that you're comfortable with your ability to handle chaos.
Exactly.
That's the deal. So your speed to ready was increasing. The time for not being ready was reducing.
Yeah. Well, I could tell you were definitely progressing like each time you did it. So that was really cool to watch. But thank you so much for coming on our show. We're going to move on to the next segment. But before we do, can you let everybody know, can they sign up for these classes too?
Yeah. Go to our Facebook page, Trident Response Group. Like us, do the strange and mysterious things people do on Facebook, and we'll reach out to you.
Okay, wonderful. And you have offices in other locations as
Dallas,
well, too?
Waxahachie with our great partners at ETTS, and then all over the United States, we know who the best trainers are, best coaches, and we'll introduce you to them.
Well, you guys go check them out. They're a great group of guys. So thanks again.
You bet.
All righty. All right, so guys, you've been asking for it, you've been waiting for it, you've been crying for it, you've been sending me messages about it over and over and over again. So here it is, the people that carry 40. But before we do, let me put things into perspective. For those of you who are wondering what the hell I'm talking about in terms of the people who carry 40, I'll explain. I started a series of videos on my YouTube channel where I basically kind of poked fun at different types of people based on the type of caliber bullet they carried in their carry gun. As anybody knows who does a modicum of research, people tend to interject their personalities into the caliber they decide to carry. It becomes so important, in fact, that you can spark a World War III on the internet about the differences between a 9mm, the 40, the 45, the 357 SIG, 454 Casull, you name it. So I decided to have a little fun and make a little parody video and mock those people that carry those particular calibers, as well as myself. So with that, here is the people that carry 40. The 40 Smith & Wesson is a good round, I guess. Depends really who you talk to. The 40 is the gun world's version of the glass half empty, half full paradox. Talk to someone who doesn't carry a 40, and they'll tell you it's the worst of both worlds. It's smaller than a 45 with sharper recoil than a 45, and not as powerful as a 10mm. However, talk to a 40 carrier, and they'll tell you it's the best of both worlds. But don't let them fool you. Most 40 carriers are just confused about their caliber identity. Some used to carry 9mm and others 45, but they spend most of their days wishing they had the other. So, in an attempt to hide their confusion, they settle on the 40 and act like that makes them the smartest person in the room. They think they have it all figured out, when all they've really done is read a couple of forums and articles and feel like they're above the caliber debate. When in reality, most of them are middle children with middle children issues and suffer from what I like to call habitual compromising disorder. I know some of you are like, who does he think he is criticizing 40 carriers? Well, I used to carry a 40. And I don't doubt it's a capable round. I just don't like feeling like my gun's trying to kill me every time I shoot it. So go ahead, call me a recoil-sensitive girly man. But I'm not the one trying to straddle both sides of the fence. You can't have it all, you know. Or maybe I'm just jealous that you guys get to have the best of both worlds.
All right, so you have a little dream, and now you're confused about your caliber identity, and this makes you angry. But it's okay.
Confused? Who said anything about being confused? If anything, what's confusing is the fact that you can't see that the 9mm is essentially anemic, and the 45 moves slower than a bunch of pro-gunners to a national gun registration party. That's what's confusing.
This is good. This is very good. Okay, now I want you to say it out loud. I'm caliber confused. It's okay to be confused in like 2 calibers. I love myself. Who's...
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
You do know what the hell I'm talking about. You're confused about your caliber identity, and so you're being greedy and trying to have both.
You keep saying I'm confused. I'm not confused. You're confused. I just wish you would stop trying to push this stupid caliber agenda down my throat and just understand that I like the 40 because it's the best of both worlds. I like both calibers. I like women. Sometimes I have dreams about Justin Bieber. No, I mean, I like the 40 because it's the best of both worlds. Like, are you trying to trick me?
Right.
Just don't know what to believe anymore. Like, I think the 9mm would do a good job, but then when I think about it, the 45 would probably do a better job. Like, what if it doesn't put the guy down and then, like, I run out of bullets and I don't have any more bullets to the 45? So then I'm just thinking, okay, maybe if I just get the 40 be better because it's in the middle. But then I'm not really sure if the 40 is gonna do a good job at stopping the guy either. I don't know, I'm just confused.
You need a therapist.
But you are a therapist.
No, like a therapist who gives a damn. I carry a 357 SIG, and as far as I'm concerned, all of you are idiots. That's time. Okay, Okay, so before we get into Ask Noir, just really quick wanted to say thank you guys so much for sending in all of your Gunfest ideas. They were really cool. We're getting through all of them slowly but surely, so keep them coming using #Gunfest. And then definitely do not forget to keep sending in your How I Watch Noir pictures.
I love those things.
We do. I mean, I'm loving getting tagged on Instagram and on Twitter, so keep them coming because you never know when they're going to make it on the show. All right, so the first question that I got is a very good one.
Hey, Barbara Walters.
Someone asked, how are you handling the fame and the attacks of being a new voice of gun owners in America?
Lots and lots and lots of therapy.
Yeah, right.
Come on, man. I'm an only child. I have this, like, ingrained, developed sense of apathy for people who don't like me. And I grew up around a bunch of friends who were ruthlessly teasing me from the moment I hit this planet. So, and
it seems like you have a lot of people that get your back too.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
it's
now I am one for, I love healthy criticism, especially when I know it's coming from a good place. That I love. And you can easily spot the healthy criticism from the trolls.
Yeah.
And we all know what we do with trolls.
Eradicate them.
No, you just don't feed them. Jesus.
You're troll eradicators.
You don't have to be so proactive.
All right, so this next one is actually pretty funny. Someone asked, have you ever been in a wrestling match with Dom Rosso?
It's like asking me if I've ever tried to outrun a bear. No, I'm not wrestling Dom Rosso. You can't get me to wrestle Dom Rosso, and I'm pretty sure after watching this, he's going to ask me if he wants.
I bet we could get you to wrestle Dom Rosso. You might be wondering who's Dom Rosso. Dom Rosso is actually the host of another show on the NRA Freestyle called Media Lab, and you guys can check him out on Wednesdays.
Actually, I think I would rather try to outrun a bear.
Than wrestle Dom?
Yes.
Now he's definitely going to call you to, and crush it. All right, so what song do you have for us this week on the playlist?
The song I added to the Noir Spotify playlist this week is Stranger from Skrillex.
Nice.
Amy's favorite person in the whole wide world, apparently.
Say that. I just like him.
Amy's favorite person in the whole wide world? No. No, I really do like the song.
Cool.
It touches a special place in my soul.
Yeah.
No, but it's a damn good song. You guys should definitely check it out. And don't forget to subscribe to the Noir Spotify playlist as well.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll see you guys next week.
Yep. Be sure to check us out every Sunday here on Noir.